Okay, when Krishna Prabhu picks up, let me share some video to set up the tune for today's offering to Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, okay, go ahead, Krishna Prabhu. Very nice, thank you, Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada ki jai.
I have another video which I will share, and then accelerate.
There is a huge fundraising deadline coming up for Senate Democrats, and they need your help right now if they're going to meet it.
Every dollar you give from now until the official FEC deadline will be triple matched, so we can flip the Senate and ditch Mitch. We're already so close towards meeting our goal, but we can't.
Confirms that Democrats can flip the Senate, but Mitch
I wanted to
McConnell
share
is
something
outraging
with you
Democrats
that you may
right
find
now.
valuable.
So we urge.
So I wanted to share with you Ritual Essential for Men.
This must-hit goal.
Democrats can take back the Senate. We're really doing
I don't know
well.
what
If we
happened.
miss
One
this
minute.
goal.
Yeah, it is giving some democratic thing. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. I'll try playing now.
Okay. Oh, what's happening here? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. A hypnotic rhythmic chant of 16 words has replaced LSD. On 2nd Avenue and 1st Street is a storefront in which a Hindu Swami has set up shop.
Traditionally, Swamis, yogis, and masters all moved uptown to the rich. And here was Bhaktivedanta, like in the depths of Calcutta.
Swami Bhaktivedanta, he once said that he was the servant of the servant of the servant of God.
Everyone is thinking, I'm American, I'm Indian, I'm European, I'm Australian. I'm not this God. I am spirit soul.
The young people were not satisfied. They were looking for something more.
We wanted to find out what is the truth.
At the age of 70, Srila Prabhupada just left everything that was known to him.
He said, I want to go to America. I said, are you crazy? Old man, you are going to die.
He was fearless and he was bold. He did not give up his dream. He had this one spirit, one calling in his heart. And someone told you the story and you wouldn't believe it.
So I went to America alone.
All by himself. A trunk of books, 40 rupees. It was impossible. But Srila Prabhupada had faith. Prabhupada had a vision for the world from day one. He wanted to embrace the world.
Somewhere around that, I reached Boston on the 17th of September 1965.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hi, it's Stacey
Yeah.
Abrams.
Jai.
There is a huge fundraising deadline coming up for
I don't know
Senate
what's
Democrats, and they need your help right now if they're going to meet it. I'm asking you to
I
donate
think
now.
some advertisements, or I don't know where it is.
That's
playing.
the matter. Okay. Yeah. Back. Good.
Now we can ask devotees to share.
Yeah.
Or-
We'd like to start. I heard Vilas Manjari Mataji wanted to share.
Yeah, go ahead, Mataji. You can start, and whoever else want to do share, please be ready. Next.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishta Bhutale Srimati Radha Swami Tinamine. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishta Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachamani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshtarne. I'm offering Zoom offering Prabhupada appearance day is going on. Yeah, I actually it's so surprising that I got this Prabhupada's lectures machine. There is a story behind how I got. But first thing I want to say is I didn't even know who Prabhupada was. So when I saw Prabhupada's picture, my brother was into Krishna consciousness, and I didn't have any faith in God or even it felt like sentimentalism, as I mentioned previously. Yeah, when my brother, I used to think that it's not practicality, and he took me to Brooklyn Temple, and that's where I saw Prabhupada's picture for the first time, and it's Prabhupada's DT also, and there was just chant and be happy, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and be happy. That was the message, and the way my impression, I was like totally taken back. How can this be possible? I felt like he's misleading people. That's how there are so many practical problems, and who will solve them, and the actual happiness comes from achieving something in life, all those things. So I didn't accept that time Prabhupada's message, and then I started reading Bhagavad Gita, and the first line I read was "Women are not intelligent," and that also made me feel like but rest of the things, they are deeply touching. But then I came across devotees in ICNJ, in MVCC, and there I started asking questions from the Bhagavad Gita book I was reading, and then I asked Nitanayana Mataji actually one question, like in 2.62 he says Haridas Thakur, he explains in a superior way than Shiva. So I asked, how can Prabhupada explain like this? That Shiva is is almost like Krishna. And then she said, first you change the way you're asking question. Instead of saying how, you should ask why. And she removed my arrogance actually. And that also made me humble and be absorbent towards his teachings. So that part I'm very grateful to devotees of ICNJ. They connected me to Prabhupada, removing my arrogance and cleansing my heart. And then that was very important transition for me to approach Prabhupada with the proper mode of humility and love. And then I started understanding his teachings. And then till last year, I was connected to him through reading books. But since last year, I started hearing him more. And as I was hearing more and more, I was becoming so dependent on hearing him. And my heart was like Gurumukha Padma Vakya Chitete Korya Aikya. So I was literally experiencing the transformations that were happening in my heart. My heart was having the newer and newer impressions of spirituality, and Prabhupada's examples were having deep impact on my faith also. Then I started desiring this machine actually since last year, that I really want to have this Prabhupada's machine which plays the lectures and kirtans continuously. So I was really missing to have it, but due to this COVID and all, I was not knowing how to get it. And then surprisingly, this Janmashtami, it felt like direct reciprocation. The gift that came for donating was this playing of lectures. And that too I received on the day of Prabhupada's appearance day. So I thank Prabhupada for this direct reciprocation of, to my desire of hearing him continuously. And I thank Madhvati Prabhu and all the temple management for such valuable gift. And then, yeah, I really appreciate the way Prabhupada gave Yukta Vairagya principle. Suppose just read this Yukta Vairagya, the Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Muchyate. That means devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of Krishna, be it anything. He gives dictaphone example, nectar of instruction. If you study that sentence all by yourself, if I think that I am not in Krishna conscious moment, and if I don't know Prabhupada, if I just study it as a scholar, Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Muchyate, what can I understand out of it? Even if you do word-to-word translation, it doesn't make any meaning. I mean, you cannot understand anything. But Prabhupada, like, in such, this is where like empowerment and his glory as a pure devotee and Shaktavesha avatar, that comes into picture. Only the way he translated and explained it in such a simple way and taught devotees to live by that principle in Western countries, like where the everything was dependent on all this technology, and advancement of consciousness was that way. Like they didn't want to, the consciousness was not to, just accept varnashram and live by it, but it was more like advancement towards technology and science. So he, instead of telling them, instead of scaring us by giving with the instruction of giving up, he utilized them in the service of Krishna. So I appreciated this part very much as I was reading his books and connecting to him, like the way he helped us to understand this principle of Yukta Vairagya and utilize everything in service of Krishna. And the way he has set up this Krishna conscious movement, it's like a desire tree, like Vedas actually help us to connect from wherever we are. Suppose if we are Karma Kandi, there are there are scriptures and rituals where we can perform something and get our desires fulfilled. And if we are Gnanis, accordingly there are different ladders of different levels of scriptures in Vedas. But the way Prabhupada has set up ISKCON is like the Yukta Vairagya is visible everywhere. Like whatever inclination you have, you can fulfill it in the service of Krishna. For example, if somebody is interested in cooking prasadam, there is a service. If somebody is interested in eating prasadam, if they want to fulfill their appetite, of course, which is one of the weapon and attraction to join Krishna consciousness, including me, that is fulfilled. And if someone is interested to sing, that is fulfilled through kirtan. If someone is interested to explore the knowledge and study it, that is facilitated. Anything, dressing deities, art, any hunger, any skill we have, that setup is established by Srila Prabhupada. And his wisdom and the way he simplified everything, I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, so in the beginning, when I read that chanting Hare Krishna and be happy, that is the truth, I felt like I'm being, it's like misdirection from the practical truths of life. But now, after these many years of associating with Prabhupada and devotees and Guru and Krishna, it feels like only his teachings are the only truth. And all other truths, all other material truths, all other temporary truths, they don't feel complete, and they don't feel like a permanent solution anymore. So I have taken complete shelter of your teachings, Prabhupada, and I don't feel convinced that there is any other truth that will solve the problems of life or relieve us from suffering. The only truth is understanding that I'm a spirit soul. And thank you for I thank Prabhupada for losing my faith in all other identities and of so many identities: American, Indian, woman, man, Indian, the beautiful, pride, intelligent, so many identities, the which I was leaving by. So to make me lose faith in them and strengthen my faith in the identity of spirit soul and servant of Krishna. So I have taken only shelter of only your teachings as truth, and please make me realize your teachings and live by them. And please forgive me any mistakes I have committed due to my ignorance or impartial realizations of your teachings. Happy appearance day, Srila Prabhupada, and thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Anybody else will like to go next? We also have our Dada, Dattata Prabhu with us, joining. It's a wonderful sevak of Srila Prabhupada in ICNJ in the very beginning. So, Dattata Prabhu, would you like to share something for Srila Prabhupada?
Hare Krishna and Dandavat Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Desatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, one day, one devotee was asked Guru Maharaj, that is, Srila Prabhupada, he was asking that Srila Prabhupada was the literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. Then Guru Maharaj told that he is not only literary incarnation of Lord Krishna, he is more than that. That is, from his mission, I also realized that he is the literary incarnation. That means that he wrote so many books, okay, and given to us for Krishna consciousness, to practice Krishna consciousness. And I was realizing that, not only that, when I was reading Srila Prabhupada books, day by day, before I did not realize it actually. Now, last a few weeks ago, I was thinking that Srila Prabhupada is very, very in close position in Lord Krishna. I cannot explain that. That is that my realization that he is more than literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. That is true actually. Otherwise, 70 years of an old person, how he came in this material world and aspire to this Krishna consciousness. And when I was thinking, when in New York City at that time was full of ice, snow. On this snow, he was sitting on the park, and only his weapons was the kortal. With the kortal, he was singing and aspire to Krishna consciousness to the hippies. And all the hippies, their nature was different than the normal person nature. And that hippies converted into Krishna consciousness. They are sadhus now. And they are the ISKCON gurus also. So this is actually, he is more than literary incarnation of some Lord Krishna. And it was also, if his position, when I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila, as well as Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, first chapter, it was he was how he was explained about the Krishna. He actually gave us Krishna to us. That means this is our fault. That is my fault. I cannot catch Krishna. That was my realization. That is I am thinking. He gave us, hey, this is Krishna. Take Krishna. But I cannot able to catch that Krishna due to my bad knowledge and experiences. So, and second thing, it is also obvious that day by day, actually, the realization is very, without any guru, without, when I was in trouble in the spiritual development. So most of the times when I prayed very deeply to Srila Prabhupada, he came in my dream and he was showing the path and he was talking. One day I was actually whole night in the dream I was with Srila Prabhupada. So in so many times Srila Prabhupada was saved me also. That is my practical understanding, practical realization. So, and again, I am very convinced that again, there is no doubt about it, that without any mercy of Guru and Srila Prabhupada, I cannot develop my realization and develop my spiritual development. It is not possible. I am 100% convinced on that. So my prayer to my Guru and Srila Prabhupada, they are very close to each other. Similarly, I just come back to my Guru Maharaj is also very close to Srila Prabhupada in his associates in previous life. Srila Prabhupada needs him for a practical Krishna consciousness. For that reason, Srila Prabhupada bought my Guru Maharaj in this material platform. And that his commission, he also Srila Prabhupada commission, he also served very nicely. That is also I realize it, that it is very, very rare that what Guru Maharaj was spread Srila Prabhupada mission. So without any Srila Prabhupada, how can I know who is Krishna? And who are demigods, the position of the demigods. That is, it is very clear understanding that Srila Prabhupada, each and every chapter of his book, he was mentioned that who was the position of the demigods and who was the position of the Krishna. So it is very exotic, and it gives me a very bliss. That is, I feel when I serve Krishna, my Madan Mohan, when I serve Srila Prabhupada, actually I feel so great within myself. That means that means whenever I was very tired at that time, if I see serve Lord Madan Mohan and Srila Prabhupada, then I do not feel any tiredness. Last 2 days, actually, it was so hectic days of mine, but I enjoyed so much inside. I was feeling bliss. That oh, my Krishna's birthday. As today is the Janmashtami, I have to think, I have to realize Krishna more and more. I want to get Krishna very close to me. And all the most of the Krishna's pastime also, it comes one after another realization of mine. So this is the, I feel so great within myself. It is due to only 3 personalities. That is, first I couldn't, in this path, I came due to my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Madhupati Das. Due to him, I came in this, with my family also came in this Krishna consciousness. Due to him, I indebted on his lotus feet. As well as he introduced my Guru. I was thinking that who will be my Guru, who will realize that the spiritual advancement, that is that my Guru and Srila Prabhupada. Gurudev sent me to Srila Prabhupada. Then I got that opportunities to serve Srila Prabhupada. That is due to His Grace Madhupati Das. For that reason, I am very, very grateful that I am very fortunate to serve Srila Prabhupada and realize that Srila Prabhupada. So in scriptures, it was also mentioned that Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bis. That is true, it is 100% true. Though previously I used to, I did not realize, oh yes, it is just I was reading and I was reading this verse. Now I realize each and every step, every word, that is what it was, why it was written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So without any guru and without any Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Srila Prabhupada, it is not be possible. That is my realization. And I pray all of you great Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please bless me that I can serve Srila Prabhupada mission nicely. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Dattata Prabhu. Okay. Anybody else? What's happening? Somebody. Oh. Kalindi Mataji, go ahead.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to express my gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for all the authorities here. We are so fortunate, even though very nearby, 5,000 years back only Krishna appeared, and 500 years back only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. It wouldn't have reached when there is no Prabhupada, when there is no his movement. So if you compare in the Brahma's lifetime, only one time Krishna will appear, only one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will appear. So how fortunate we are. But I would like to express my sincere inability for not reaching as a qualified disciple, grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. But to little extent we are trying to our best. Whenever I'm in depression, whenever I lose energy, any circumstance, just one click, with one click he will remove everything. Just if we start his lecture, the minute rascal word or anything, any strong voice is there of Prabhupada's, it will be like a miracle. It is like a strong medicine. I experienced that so many times. Okay, but today I'm upset because of some reasons, materialistic reasons. Just default. If you click on the lecture, you will get some medicine, some consolement, everything. I would like to share my faith got increased after hearing one incident from the devotees and in my Guru Maharaj's class only. It is so heart touching. You all might have known, but I want to express it in this great moment. One time, it was in 1982, during the case, our movement was just started in Russia in the beginning days. There was so much of violence against our devotees, even the own government itself, especially KGBs. But devotees are equally very determined, very enthusiastic to fulfill Prabhupada missions, and every devotee is so sincere. So there is one Mataji who was caught by these KGBs, and she was continuously chanting. And these police officials, KGB people, they are trying their best to make her stop this chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And she was continuously chanting. They were not knowing what to do, how to stop her or how to stop that movement in the Russia. And they were using black magic, because even how much ever physical forces they are using, these devotees, they're not stopping, especially this Mataji. So at that time, this some so-called black magic person came, and he was injecting the power, black magic power into that Mataji. And she was literally feeling someone is occupying the whole body of hers. At that time, she was loudly screaming, Jai Narsimha, Sri Narsimha, Jai Jai, Ugram Veeram. She was chanting very strongly. But the black magic is almost totally capturing the whole body. She was not knowing what to do. Immediately she was shouting, Jai Prabhupada, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namne. That's it. Not even complete mantra she had recited. The black magic person withdrew his powers, his or her, I am not sure, withdrew the powers, and the officials there were asking, why are you going? No, I can't do anymore. It is not going to work. Now, so far you are trying, right? She's, I can see the difference in her. She was able to suppressed. She was able to be suppressed. No. Now onwards, I cannot do anything. Even you don't try. Then they were insisting to tell the reason why she was suddenly stepping back and leaving that place. Don't you see? Don't you see the old man here? I am able to see. I can see. You cannot see. You may not able to see. I can see. As long as he is here, I cannot do anything with her. She is not an ordinary lady and he is not an ordinary person. Don't handle it care. They just left the place. So Prabhupada is more merciful than Narsim Bhagavan. I'm not decreasing the power of any deities, but I want to emphasize the care, loving care of Prabhupada even now. If we deeply call, we don't have that intense calling mood. That's the only disability for us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada personally, they came us, they taught us to cry for Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deeply, intensely. So, but because of our misfortune, we are not giving that much importance as we are giving to our material needs to Srila Prabhupada and his mission. But I am humbly seeking the blessings of Srila Prabhupada on this auspicious day to shower his mercy even to a pinch so that I can try to please him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Guru and Gauranga, all the Vaishnavas. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Satyabhama Mataji, you had raised a hand. You want to make an offering?
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam to everyone, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Vitale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Dhamma Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram. Thank you so much everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity to tell my realization. So Prabhupada's word is so powerful. Like his image, when we see his feet, when we go enter the temple and we take his darshan, it's really amazing. Like we are really fortunate people. We have Srila Prabhupada, and because of him we got such a wonderful family or congregation. See, we don't meet our relatives. Like it's been like 6 years to go to India, but I don't remember them. But if devotees 1 week we don't go, it feels like, oh, so many years pass. We didn't meet our Sakhis and all these devotees. So it's mercy of Srila Prabhupada only. And like his disciples are so great. Everyone, like recently his Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, we heard the realization and all about all his disciples. They are on the same level. So I always think how Prabhupada would be. His disciples are so great. So how he would be. We didn't get that chance of his association, but his all these instructions, his books, really amazing. Like when we go through his purport, so nicely explain everything, and really it touches our heart. And like Mataji mentioned, his voice. So I was just hearing his one lecture, and someone person asked like how much time it takes to get to become Krishna conscious. He said 1 minute. That sound itself makes us like, oh, like we can become Krishna conscious really in 1 minute if we really desire that. So his appearance, only his face and all this appearance only makes us, we have to become Krishna conscious and sincere in our life. So I just want to mention my experience in my life. So when I was in college and my mom's dad, my grandma used to visit, and he used to tell me in 70s that time, and he used to get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, and I was also getting up for my study. And he was telling me verses, and he was telling me about Prabhupada. So that was the seed I got that time, but I was not that keen about that. But later, when I was bedridden and I translated Marathi Bhagavad Gita in English, so his words, I could not translate in English very nicely. And now I read Bhagavad Gita in English, so I see so amazing Prabhupada is. That time I was not knowing all this reciprocation, transcendental, and all these words. I was just translating in simpler way. So he's really amazing. So that was and then it sprouted when I came to ISKCON. So wonderful association I got, and every time like so many Shiksha Gurus, and like my family always, they were saying, "Mom, you take initiation." My Prabhuji was saying, "You take initiation." Then I was saying, "No, my condition is when Dad will take initiation, that time only I will take. Otherwise, I cannot serve on myself. Daddy should be there for the service." And then I was just thinking and thinking about means just praying to Guru Maharaj also, that when I was aspiring, and Prabhupada. So but before that, when like 5 years back, I was chanting and I was telling my Prabhuji, please chant at least one round when we used to go to Bhakti Viksha. And then Purnachandra Prabhuji was saying, take prasadam for your Prabhuji. And I was bringing prasadam. So purification started from that point, but he was not willing to chant. And then one day Prabhupada came in my dream and he gave the mala to my Prabhuji. And very next day, he started himself. So I was so wonderful, like how he knows, he is around us. Only our desire should be there. So he is there. And second time, the initiation time, same thing happened. And then within 1 month, like I don't know how it happened. And Prabhupada came in my dream that time also. And Prabhupada came to our house, and I was cooking, and then my Prabhuji said, "Oh, Prabhupada, keep everything there and come. We will welcome you." And I don't know how it happened. And he said, "Okay, I will also take initiation because you will not take if I will not take." We studied together, and we passed the test, and it happened so nicely, and really life changed after initiation. Like it's Prabhupada's really kripa. I never thought we will quit garlic and onion and all other things, like so many material mundane things. I'm really, really grateful to Prabhupada. If Prabhupada would not be there, I don't know what we would be. But really, he is very merciful, and for us, Prabhupada is really what I cannot express also my feelings. And then last, I want to share like I just wrote it down points. Yeah, like we watched that video, how nicely it's prasadam sitting there. So sometimes I am alone at home when kids go to school, and Prabhuji is working from home, but he is in his room and working. So I could sit nicely like Prabhupada is sitting like that and relishing prasadam. Even it is still, I eat because he is thinking it's all bites are from Krishna. So we have to respect for everything, whatever we are getting in this world. Everything, whatever we are getting, it's by Prabhupada's mercy, Krishna's mercy, but without him, we would not know also who is Krishna, who is Radha, how this creation happened and how it is going on. And nobody knows. A lot of people, they don't know also in this life. They think they will get human birth. This life is only for enjoyment. We have to enjoy and we'll come again in a human form. They don't know. Because of Prabhupada only we know. We will not get human life if we don't desire properly, if we don't use our life properly. So, see, we are really fortunate and means we are really blessed. And just bless me and my family also so that we can serve better in this Prabhupada mission and use our entire life for this. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Anybody else would like to make an offering? I have sent a chat to everybody. Please send me a message so that I can schedule it nicely. Or if you want to raise your hand like Satyabhama Mataji did, raise your hand so that I can put you next. Anybody else who would like to make an offering to Srila Prabhupada on this very auspicious day? Subal Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, go ahead.
You want me to go next? Is that
Yes.
true?
Yes.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. So today we've come to like another day where it's like Srila Prabhupada's birthday, and every year we celebrate this day, and it's time for us to like renew our commitment to serving Srila Prabhupada. And like Srila Prabhupada, we're all here. I mean, whatever we're all here, and because of Srila Prabhupada, in whatever condition, in whatever capacity, we're serving the deities. Maybe some of us, serving in a small way, and many devotees serving Srila Prabhupada in a big way. But it's all because of our love and our sincerity. I mean, we try our best to be sincere to Srila Prabhupada. And like as someone was mentioning, Vilas Manjari Mataji was mentioning earlier, like it's because of Srila Prabhupada, like we have kind of we've lost our identities. Like we've merged our identities. Like we consider ourselves as spiritual. We've forgotten that we're Indian, we're West, whatever. Like all the other identities, we're trying to lose and establish ourselves as servant of Krishna and spirit soul, and our only duty is to serve Krishna. And we're trying to, like, in theory we understand that, but in practicality, like how much we do that is like, at least for me, is a big question mark. But when you go through Srila Prabhupada's books, and when we go through his teachings, and when we listen to like all our gurus, they tell us about Srila Prabhupada's message, we understand like we need to really get to that level of advancement. So this is another time, like another day, we can actually, kind of reflect on how we are doing and how much is our commitment to Srila Prabhupada. We may not be spiritually advanced. We might not be, we might be at the very bottom of the spiritual ladder, But if we follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions sincerely, and we just follow them, no question, like don't do anything else, just follow them like in letter and spirit, then doesn't matter how, what we feel, but we will eventually make the progress. Like Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada made this big boat. Somehow we have to be connected to we have to be inside the boat of ISKCON. And then Srila Prabhupada will carry us back to Sri Krishna. It's interesting, like today, like somebody posted Tulsi Gabad's message on Janmashtami, and then I forwarded it to one of my friends, some of my friends, and they said, a great speech, great thing. And I was just thinking, like, it's what she's speaking. I know she's like, she's a Vaishnava, but I don't know if she's connected with ISKCON. I'm not sure. But whatever she was saying, just was reflecting what Srila Prabhupada said. That's what we learned. And so we understand, like, if we get the message across out there to, most people out there will appreciate Srila Prabhupada's message. And so so we have to understand, like, whatever Srila Prabhupada has given us is like, probably the best thing, something we need to appreciate, and we need to like try our best to inculcate the values he's given us, try to inculcate in ourselves. And we can make this day, we can, like I said before, we can make another attempt, to reflect and surrender ourselves to Srila Prabhupada and his mission. And if we do that, we will be successful in our spiritual life, in our spiritual quest. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for, accepting me into your movement as a grand disciple. I'm in debt, and I'm always indebted to yourself and my Guru Maharaj for, in spite of all my faults, in spite of all the shortcomings I have, being able to serve you in whatever little way I can. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Subha Prabhu.
Thank you.
Srimati Mataji. Srimati Mataji, you wanted to make an offering?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Prabhuji. I don't know if I'm... Hare Krishna, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Prabhupada Swami Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharana Nirvishesha Shunyavada Paschatya Deshatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, thank you very much, Madhupati Prabhu and the management team of ISKCON of Central New Jersey to give this opportunity for all the devotees to share their offerings. Actually, during the COVID, everybody was thinking, oh, this is not there, this is not there, this is not there. But these all meetings, prayers for each other, all these meetings are really helping us to be connected to Srila Prabhupada's mission. This is a wonderful opportunity for everyone to share. In my case, as Mataji was sharing, I also never knew Prabhupada before. After knowing ISKCON also, I never knew Prabhupada. What I used to know as only my Guru Maharaj, he is ISKCON, that's all. I mean, I was not aspiring, I was not into Krishna consciousness, but I was just knowing, okay, through Virabhadra Prabhu's brother, cousin brother, okay, one Guru is there, he is the leader, he is ISKCON. ISKCON means he like that. But later with the mercy of devotees, Guru Maharaj, and everyone, we know the importance of Srila Prabhupada. And then every step in the life, every stage in the life, Prabhupada has a lot of impact. And each and everyone who come in contact with ISKCON, because ISKCON means Prabhupada. ISKCON means Prabhupada. That's what I understood till now. Srila Prabhupada's efforts, Srila Prabhupada's endeavors, Srila Prabhupada's so much of dedication for the mission. Everything shows us today also how much we are connected to each other. Satyabhama Mataji was sharing, she did not go to India since 6 years, 7 years. Many devotees of us did not go to India, or though we go to India just like a visiting place and then we get bored there. Maybe 5 days, 6 days at hometown. Then after that, we want to go to Yatra. We want to visit the devotees. We want to see the devotees. We want to do the pilgrimage places, devotees association. We miss it so much, devotees association. And that is all because of Prabhupada's such a nice, big shelter, what he
Mataji, we stopped hearing you. Srimati Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's not blinking, video and audio. Probably somebody else can speak, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, her transmission went. I think she logged out. She can come, so join back in. Anybody else would like to join in the meantime? Oh, Srimati Mataji, go ahead. Continue. It's muted. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Yeah, so when I joined CNJ, I started with the Bhakti Riksha of Govardhan Prabhu, where Sri Vrindavan Prabhu was taking classes. After a few days, after a few months, I got to know more about Srila Prabhupada's mission, how Srila Prabhupada encouraged everybody to serve the temple, go to Bhakti Vrikshas and all those things. And then, as many of you have seen Prabhupada in dreams through, I mean, when you read about Prabhupada, when you hear about Prabhupada, then you have a desire that we should have been. Today also, after Rajbhog, we were cleaning and Haripriya Mataji was saying about something cooking, and she said, Mataji, we should have been there at the time of Prabhupada was here like that. Mataji said, we should have served Prabhupada with all these things and all. I said, yeah, Mataji, at least you say so many days, but I say at least if I would have seen Prabhupada, that was also very fortunate. But Prabhupada has given everything when he is not there on this planet. Also, how ISKCON has to, how devotees have to grow up together and serve Krishna. He has given everything, whatever is needed. It's just we have to follow the authorities, bona fide authorities properly. We always sometimes think in a different way that, oh, okay, this is what, okay, my Siksha Guru is everything, my Diksha Guru is everything. But where did my Siksha Guru get these all things from? Where did my Diksha Guru get all these things from? The bona fides, we will go, then we can more appreciate Srila Prabhupada's things. So I got a dream that Prabhupada's voice I could hear. I couldn't see Prabhupada, but I could hear the voice of Prabhupada saying that, what are you waiting for? Come on, try to serve or get service, something like that. And then I said, in which way am I qualified to serve? And Prabhupada is saying, serve, serve. Then my mind went to that, like everybody is having deities at their home, so I should have my own deities. So I went to Sri Vrindavan, Prabhu shared my dream, and then I told Prabhuji, should I get the deities my Prabhupada wanted? And Sri Vrindavan Prabhu said, it's not always deities. To get more realizations, you get Prabhupada deity first. Because without Prabhupada, you cannot just go to Krishna just like that. You get Prabhupada deity first, then try to serve Prabhupada deity. So somehow that year only, when Krishna Namananda Prabhu, we all joined at the same time, Govardhan Prabhu's Bhakti Vriksha. And then at that time only, Namananda Prabhu family went to India and they got Prabhupada deity and they gifted us. That was a very miraculous thing. Neither we asked for the deity nor something like that happened, and Prabhupada came home, and I started serving Prabhupada with a small little Gaurnitai, that doll Gaurnitais, and then it went on like that. And later I started feeling that I know everybody reciprocates, Prabhupada reciprocates with everybody according to their intention to serve him in different ways. But for me, it was always books. It was always books. I was not at all reading Srila Prabhupada's books in a sequential manner, but I was interested whenever some topic comes from the books. So I thought if these books are not there, then it would be very difficult for us to all know about these things, because direct Srila Prabhupada disciples are also becoming very elderly. After some time, they will not. So Prabhupada clearly said that for next 10,000 years, these will be the law books. So I developed my love for books through love for Srila Prabhupada through these books. So, and I'm very fortunate that in my house every day Srimad Bhagavatam twice a day goes on. Morning Bhagavatam class and evening before sleeping Bhagavatam reading. My kids have got lot of attachment towards Prabhupada's purports, especially. And fortunately, we have got the Guru Maharaj, who's Srila Prabhupada's disciple, also emphasizes on Srimad Bhagavatam more. I just want to share one wonderful realization, recent direct impact of Prabhupada's books. I don't know if everybody will be comfortable to hear it or not, but this will really help us all on a long term how Prabhupada's understanding and Srimad Bhagavatam's purports will help us. So Rishta has been reading Srila Prabhupada's Srimad Bhagavatam since she was maybe 8 years old, something like that. She was hearing from her dad when she was 5 onwards, but from 8 years onwards. So she was reading Srimad Bhagavatam almost every day for 8 years. She's now going to be 16 in September. So for almost 8 years, she was reading. I was not reading. And whenever I was distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, though I was distributing, I was always thinking, whose cup of tea is this, that who will read so many 18 books, such law books, kind of big books? How is it possible for somebody to finish this Bhagavatam like that? But Isha has been doing that, and I don't want to talk more about how my family is doing, but how it impacted, I just wanted to share because it's very important. You all know that Rishta was recently hospitalized. And whatever the reason she has been hospitalized, it was stamped something in her admission time that she has to, after medically she is fit also, she has to go through a rehab for whatever reason it may be. So we did not think that much at that time. Okay, rehab, okay, whatever it is, they put it, that's okay, because we were really worried about her critical situation in the ICU, and then feeding and all those things. I don't want to even remember those things now. It's all done. But after everything is done, she was medically fit. She was getting feed through her mouth directly. Everything was okay. Discharge time came and we were all like happy. Okay, now time has passed, hard time. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Gurudev. We were all praying. But at the time of discharge, they said that you have to go to it's not rehab actually, it's called a eating disorder unit. So they wanted her to go there. It's a compulsory protocol, must that you have to go there. How many days you spend there depends on your behavior, depends on how you take the things and everything. So we thought it will be easy. They said 1 week. Okay, 1 week we will go. If at all she's good in 1 week, they'll make her outpatient or something. I'm sorry, I'm maybe taking a little more time, but this is very important. So when she went there, the first day itself, we did not feel the environment is something very conducive for her. They might think it is conducive for her, but she knows it was not conducive for her. But somehow doctors were not there. We had to leave her there Friday evening. And then she was not happy there. Saturday, she said, Mommy, I cannot stay here. Daddy, I cannot stay here. I want to go home. I'm medically okay. Whatever the follow-ups they need, we will do it and all those things and all. And she was crying literally. And then we asked, what is the problem? And then she said, no, I cannot here because I don't have a DTC here. I don't have. In the ICU also, we had a Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, my picture. And then we were doing nursing Arti, Prabhupada Arti in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. She was distributing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. There it's not like that. No books, no internet, no it's a different environment totally. And someone else was there also with her sharing the room. She's an American girl. she was not allowed to take bath in the morning after she uses the bathroom, which we have been like being in ISKCON, not in ISKCON, maybe everybody, some of the people do that, but being in ISKCON, it's a strict rule that once you use the bathroom. So she was not allowed. She was said only in the evening you take bath here, nobody will take in the morning, like this, something like that. And she was offered egg in the meal. Though we wrote it as vegetarian, they said that if you are hungry, you have to eat this. She was seeing all kind of challenges there. She was counting on each and every challenge. Some she was sharing, some she was not sharing with us. And Saturday evening I went, and then she said that I have to ask for brushing my teeth. Every time I eat 3 times a day, I brush my teeth. I have to ask, and they say, we'll come and give, and they never give me brush for brushing. I mean, cleanliness, each and every simple thing. Then we said, okay, she doesn't want to stay here. So when we said that we want to get her home, the staff said that it would be against medical advice or something. If you do this, you have to inform the state that you are doing that. When we tried to contact the state or child protection team, they said that if you have to take her like that, we have to see you in court. Then we were really afraid because legal things can do many problems here. So we said, okay, we'll try to explain Rishta. We'll call her. And we said, we called her. We said that, Rishta, it's a matter of only 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks. You please stay there. Rishta said, I cannot stay here. I cannot stay here because I'm not used to this environment. Then we said, we have no choice here. We cannot say that we want to take her out. It will be legal problem. She said, no. Who said that? I mean, she's doing criminology in her studies also. It's actually a voluntary program after you are medically fit. So we did not think much, but she called the CPT, the child protection team lady, whoever is the caseworker, and she said that I cannot stay here. She asked the reasons. Rishika told the reasons, and then Rishta told the reasons. And she said that maybe this is only 1 day, 2 day, you are feeling like that, you can say. No, she said that, no, it's not that. It's not at all that. This is not my nature. Okay, so where did she get this strength from? She is not a kind of, like any 15 years old world won't say that this is not my nature, I don't want to stay in rehab. She quoted some of the things from scripture. She said that, no, I cannot stay here. And the lady said that you don't have medical degree. She said, I have common sense degree. This is not the environment where I can heal myself. Whatever you want, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show it to you, but this is not my environment. I read every day my scriptures, I do my artis. I need a holistic environment where I can pray to my deities, where I can do my proper way of living. I take bath every day in the morning after using bathroom. You don't allow me to take bath. So each and everything, the strength which she was able to talk to those people, I give all credit to Srila Prabhupada's purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada just did not give a detailed explanation of the translation. In each and every purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, each and every purport, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned about the lifestyle and the importance of getting this human life. So we are really fortunate to be in this Srila Prabhupada's mission. I'm very happy to be always able to serve Srila Prabhupada. Knowingly, unknowingly, I might have committed some mistakes, but Srila Prabhupada is very merciful, and I'm praying to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev for me to get some intelligence so that I don't make any mistakes in future. And what happened in Atlantic City? Amen. Good. Okay, so Rishika is remembering something, but yeah, you want to share? Okay, later we can. Thank you very much, devotees. Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu, for giving this opportunity. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much, Mataji. Shashank Koti Krishna Prabhu is next.
Hare Krishna, Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunari Pasardestarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. So growing up in the 21st century as a teenager, as a kid, and going to school on a regular basis, thinking about Srila Prabhupada is something that comes to my mind almost every day. So it's hard to imagine. So my father always tells me, think about the impact Srila Prabhupada has had on your life. So it's hard. So now that I think about it, now that I'm given the opportunity to speak about it, it's hard to say that to describe and mention and fully capacitate Srila Prabhupada's income and impact on everyone's lives in just a few words. So, so I feel like Prabhupada's mission, his activities, no one could have accomplished the same amount, no matter how hard they tried. It was a complete miracle that such an old age, and beating all the odds, that he was able to establish such a big international organization that helped millions of people around the world. So whether you think about it from a material or spiritual standpoint, Srila Prabhupada's impact is almost infinite. He has helped and touched more than billions, millions of lives. And if it were for Srila Prabhupada, we wouldn't have association of all these great devotees, and we wouldn't be able to meet like these, have meetings like these every week. So we should always be thankful and not take Prabhupada's work for granted. We should always remember we should always honor and remember Srila Prabhupada's efforts he did for all of us. So if it weren't for Prabhupada, like thinking from a material standpoint, Prabhupada's organization, ISKCON, they helped so many people. Like even Prabhupada himself, when he first came, he came to a land full of hippies. Although we may heard about like hippies are, we will think, oh, they're just some drug taking little kids. It's okay, nothing big deal. But the hippie movement I learned about in school is actually much more serious than we already know. So hippies almost became like a very dangerous thing. And Prabhupada dealt and touched with all these young people in ways that all the city authorities and all the social leaders couldn't. All the politicians were trying so hard, but with simple prasadam, love, kirtan, Prabhupada transformed all these people into all the great devotees we look up to and admire today. So if it were for Prabhupada, there'd be so many people still left on the streets struggling. And even till this day, so many organizations such as Food for Life, in Mayapur, they do lots of prasadam distribution. I saw all these organizations. Some people depend on ISKCON for their daily food. So if it weren't for Prabhupada, all these people would be suffering and they wouldn't be able to have Krishna's mercy. Not only that, like if it weren't for Prabhupada, we wouldn't all be here. We wouldn't have all these books. And every day I think, how would my life be if I was a materialistic person, without waking up every day, eating prasadam, without following Prabhupada's teachings? How would life be? Like it would probably be very materialistic. And it's really hard to imagine how life would really be without Prabhupada's help. Like we may sound like, even I sometimes forget, oh, I can't, because I'm in Krishna conscious, I can't do this with my friends. I can't, I'm being restricted. But in the end, I realized I shouldn't think like that. Prabhupada's mission is very valuable, and the gift he's giving us is something that is so great. Like Prabhupada always used to say, and this is what I really like. It's like many people, one time when he went to England, all the reporters asked him, why have you come to England? What is your mission here? And then Prabhupada told an example. When your British came to our India a few hundred years ago, you guys took everything from us, but you forgot one thing. I came back to give that one jewel. So that jewel was Krishna conscious. So many people, they don't take advantage of this. Prabhupada always tells us one example. If you go around selling high quality mangoes for free, no one will take, because they'll think, oh, this person, he's offering mangoes for free. There must be something wrong with it. So Prabhupada, he realized that, and he gave us this valuable gift. So rather than speaking and remembering him every day, although that has some extent, we should, the greatest service we can do is by following his instructions, by continuing off his mission. So going forward, we should always try to preach and give this Hare Krishna movement and Krishna consciousness to everyone else. And you never know, maybe their lives will also change in a drastic ways that we can't imagine. So the greatest service and greatest way we can remember Prabhupada is by continuing his movement and making sure that it lasts as long as it can. So with this, I would like to end. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Sasank Krishna Babu. Okay, I've run out of volunteers. Anybody would like to go next?
Is waving his hand. She wants to speak, looks like.
Oh, Surabhi, is somebody?
No, Sukumari Mataji. Sukumari Mataji, you are on mute. She wants to speak. She's waving her hand.
Oh, she's waving her hand. Okay, I see. Okay, thank you very much. Sukumari Mataji, you can go next. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Vaishnavas, assembled devotees. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charashamaniti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatodeshatarine. Yeah, I'm just surprised when just now I didn't check my cell phone that much, and then Madhupati Prabhu today called me that this program going on. So I feel myself is very fortunate to attend with our old group, my eternal home, SCNJ. I can say it's eternal. Wherever I go, whatever I do, but I always with ICNJ, that my group. From my life start actually, my spiritual life actually start there for both of us, me and my husband. Srila Prabhupada, it is we maybe directly we didn't see Srila Prabhupada, but when Madhupati Prabhu gave us this service to serve Srila Prabhupada, it is, what is the year? Maybe 2003. Yeah, from the beginning when Srila Prabhupada came, ICNJ, from that day, even whose day he came in our temple, our first place. So from that time, Srila Prabhupada, we never feel he's not in there. He's like, though he's a Srimurti in Sri Vigraha, but I always feel he's there, no matter what. I mean, even night time also, me and my Prabhu used to go serve that land to serve Srila Prabhupada. Outside night time when I'm afraid, but as soon as I'm going in the house, I feel Srila Prabhupada is there. So I can see Srila Prabhupada mercy. Without his mercy, maybe I cannot born second birth in this world. So maybe I have to suffer whole life after life. I don't know how many lives. So he saved us. He's a savior, great savior, not for me only, everybody in this whole human society. He's a great savior. Only simple I can say, he born 1896 in Kolkata, and he found his Gurudev 1922. Then he took initiation 1933, and he came USA 1965. And when he came in America, USA, that time he was like 70 years old. And until he left the body, 81 years, when he was that time almost. So this very, very, a small time for him, but that small time he did so much. He already 18 times he traveled this whole world. He incorporated this ISKCON 1977 in 14th July, 1966. He incorporated ISKCON. It's 14th November, I think. 14 November, yeah, 14 November. And 1977, 14 November, he left the body, but he incorporated ISKCON 1960 in July. So one thing, he gave us our Guru Varga. Maybe I didn't directly say him, I feel by his Vigraha, when day by day we used to take care of him, when our home Srila Prabhupada was there. I never afraid my Madan Mohan or Gornita, but I am always very, very careful about Srila Prabhupada Vigraha. Anything happen, any offense, maybe that realization that time, Krishna Ramananda Prabhu, Srimati Mata, they knows my feeling, because I was always very careful about Srila Prabhupada. And another thing about Srila Prabhupada and his presence and his things, actually is my Guru Maharaj seeded that things in our heart about Srila Prabhupada, because I noticed everything about Srila Prabhupada, he was so much careful. And same thing, I feel that way. And we are lucky that that's the way we found Srila Prabhupada. He's not ordinary things. One thing in this whole world, he gave us Krishna. He gave us Srimad, first Gita. Gita, a lot of people write it the way Krishna, as the disciplic succession, got everything, but people write their own conclusion about the Bhagavad Gita. But Srila Prabhupada gave us as it is, whatever Krishna gave, same way, and same way he explained Bhagavad Gita to us. Sometimes I went Bharat Shivashram, some other temple, and I saw with other Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita as it is there. And also I can say Srimad Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, the explanation Srila Prabhupada did. It is so simple, I can say simple, it still is, it's not that simple, but at least like me, like I'm not that Gyani, like an ignorant person also can little understand about the Krishna. That is more important thing. And same way he also told my Guru Maharaj to make it in a Bengali, interpret in a Bengali. So even all Bengali peoples now understand, because we have lot of theory, lot of jatamat, but this kind of all kind of nonsense thing in our society. But who make these things easy for us? This only Srila Prabhupada. By his mercy only, we found who is Krishna and what is our goal as a human being. We came this world only for eating, meeting, dating, and sleeping? No. So who shows us this way? So simple way to understand what we have to do. He didn't tell us to do this big jagna, big these things, big this thing, big donation. No, he showed us how you came here and how we can to go back to our father's home, our spiritual father's home. We can go back. That's he showed us. He showed whole life from the beginning, when we born, when we wake up, when we work, and how we sleep. Everywhere I see his mercy. I remember when I used to work when they never give me off one to Saturday and Sunday. So I have many times fight with my managers. One day my store manager called me, say, you think you are Hindu? I say, it's simple other thing they don't understand. I have to say yes. But he said, I'm also a good Christian. I always going my temple, my church. I do this thing, that things. But I never took a weekend off. Why you have to take off? But I have one big strength, that's Srila Prabhupada. I feel always his mercies. I said, no. But your way and my way is not same. Though we came this world, our Jesus and Allah all same. One thing, only we reciprocate different way. But still my way is not same. I have my home, I have a program, I need off. Anything happened, though little bit I have to fight, but I am there, because where I get that strength I get from Srila Prabhupada. He gave us same way Krishna, he gave us the gulab jamun, he gave us whole Western country gulab jamun, puri, fulka luchi. Same way he showed how to live and how to die. Before he left this body, he called his all disciples. In his lifetime, he initiated 10,000 disciples that time, indirect. So it is not so simple thing. Within 10 years, 12 years, he did so much big family he create. And one most important thing I feel, and one day I talked with another Sampradaya people also. And when I'm out of New Jersey, I met here a lot of people, a lot of even Srila Prabhupada, older disciples also, who was not in now in ISKCON, but still they do whatever it is. But one thing I notice in their temple, their place, that Srila Prabhupada picture is there. They never forget Srila Prabhupada, because actually I told beginning Srila Prabhupada is a saver. And another thing Srila Prabhupada did whole human society, that is this body and soul is different. We are not this body, we are actually soul. That is, I feel, one very, very important thing for us. As soon as we are in soul idea, then we realize what we have to do. What is our real identity? I'm not this body, I'm soul, but what is my work? What's my things? I am the Dashanudash of Krishna. Jibere Swarupai Nitya Krishna Das. So that identity actually forgot. And that identity Srila Prabhupada gave us. People, they make the khichdi. Khichdi means when you put rice, dal, all kind of sabji, right? Idea is there, but people, other sampradaya and everything, they just mix up everything. But Srila Prabhupada, like a Rajhangsha, he take out the milk from water. And same way, Srila Prabhupada, he showed who am I and what is my identity. This soul, that is the biggest, very, very important thing in our life, I feel. And also he is very, very merciful. My Gurudev initiation time also and always used to say one thing. I don't know how much I can take you, but when initiated this line, this Brahma Madhva Gauriya Sampradaya, I can tell you something. I can take you to Srila Prabhupada and he will save you and he will take you to Krishna. That's I always remember. And another thing, because today morning also I'm listening, when I'm cooking for Prabhupada, I'm listening one thing. And that is, one time Guru Maharaj told that story actually, on Te Narayan Shriti, that lecture. He says, one time, when Srila Prabhupada, when he left this Leela, that time, it was like a big chaos, little bit trouble was in ISKCON that time. And one Sannyasi disciple, he left ISKCON. And he have a family or something like that he was done. After then, after a few years back, one time, when this our book, some our devotees maybe sometime book distribute group or something, they're working around. So that time, one day, one lady saw their saffron clothes, and she saw on the book table some book, Srila Prabhupada picture. Other things, and they asked, where are you from? The devotee, the monk told, I'm from ISKCON, and like that. And then the lady asks that Prabhu, do you know who is Srila Prabhupada? Then he explained who is Srila Prabhupada. He is our Acharya or Param Guru, and what is. Then so, oh, you know what? What happened? I can tell you something. My husband was this group, and he had a cancer a few years back. And before he leaving body, that time he's talking about Srila Prabhupada. And one day, just before he left his body, he was lie down, he was very much in pain. And so all of a sudden, he just a little bit off his head. And he said, oh, Srila Prabhupada, you came. Thank you very much. And he left his body. So, Guru Maharaj told us that, see how merciful Srila Prabhupada. So if you are in Krishna consciousness and you always remember Krishna, one thing happened, like Ajamil was so papi, whatever it is, no matter what, though he didn't call Narayan Krishna for remembering Krishna, but he called because his son's name, by name, Krishna, Vishnu Duta came to come. And this time, though he left Krishna consciousness, though he was not, but one time he and Srila Prabhupada accept him as his disciple. By that mercy, though he did in the end of his life do something wrong, but Srila Prabhupada came to save him. So we can see Srila Prabhupada, how merciful he was. And also when we read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, many times I saw even Japan or China, some places, some people complain, this Prabhu, this president left, he did this thing, lot of things. But Srila Prabhupada always was forgive. He had so much forgiveness. He said, no, please come, call him, let him to come. Same thing we saw, he did the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur's in Leela also. He never let them go. He always collect everybody who have a little talk about Krishna. He never forget. So Srila Prabhupada savior. He is a great savior. He's a great acharya. He is a Jagat Guru. That's why we call Jagat Guru. And finally, I can say in our whole life, only by Srila Prabhupada mercy, we came And we found Srila Prabhupada disciples, we found all the great Vaishnava, and also by ICNJ Madhupati Prabhu's mercy, we came in Krishna consciousness. So thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jai assembled devotees. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Sukamani Mataji. Tejaswini Mataji.
Hare Krishna. This is Premanjali Devidasi. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Just wanted to appreciate Srila Prabhupada, how he has done very much. Very much is a small thing to say, like a lot of things he has done. Like in 70 years, like when he was 70 years, he has come to US and then gave Krishna consciousness to whole wide world. I was thinking that it's not a small thing, that if we see ICNJ, I came around 4 years ago, and then I see that very nice devotees around. It's not a simple thing to manage the temple. And back of the altar, many of the people, many of the very nice devotees, they will be working very hard, putting their heart to please Krishna, Radhasham Sundar. And I see in that view that how Prabhupada has given whole world, and how he has taught each and every person that how we have to be sincere and how we have to be pleasing to Krishna. It's not a very small thing to say, but I see that his affection towards his disciples, not only his disciples, everybody, fallen souls, that he is like a real father. Like he see himself like, okay, how can I help him to give Krishna consciousness so that he can come out from the material world and go back to Krishna Loka. So just a few more appreciation points to appreciate Srila Prabhupada, that I really wonder that where am I right now? Because without Krishna consciousness, which Srila Prabhupada has given, I couldn't have been completely material. I'll be like, materialistic person. So engaging myself, how I have to engage myself, like Prabhupada has taught in his books, many of the books he has given. Like I used to read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita with some of the group, Mataji's group, that I came across, and we have read few books like Leelamrita and biography of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and few more Prabhupada books. That I realized that it's not a simple thing. Like he has given whole world the gift. That is not a small thing. It's a gift actually. Nobody on this planet has to ignore that. It's not like you are elevated now, you are not supposed to read Prabhupada books. It's not like that. Each and every sentence I see that in Srimad Bhagavatam, whenever I read every day, or whenever I read that, each and every sentence has lot of things. If I take it to heart everything and then apply it, then that really gives us how to elevate ourselves to the materialistic platform, to the spiritual platform. So whatever little service I'm doing today is just because by Prabhupada's mercy. So I am really very grateful that I'm having association with the devotees, which I am getting everyday association. And that Prabhupada has given the example of a deceased person like me. Like the power of his causeless mercy is so powerful, and the process of devotional service that Prabhupada has given, that's the perfect engage for me to always engage myself in it. So I say from my heart that thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for saving me from not becoming totally materialistic person. And I pray you that please give me strength and your blessings to follow Guru Maharaj's instructions. I could imagine how Srila Prabhupada has taken spiritual master's mission as very seriously and came to this world and given us the gift of Krishna consciousness. And even though if I face so many challenges in my life, but I see that okay, this is what Krishna wanted to teach. Like I have to learn a lot and then get through it, so that I can take shelter of Krishna more and more, and how to depend on Krishna. So by reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I realized a lot, many things to how to see the things which is related to Krishna, so that I can connect and then get out of that challenging situations. So even though I see taking examples of Srila Prabhupada got 2 times a heart attack in the Jaladuta, but still he was saying that, but still I take shelter of Krishna, so that Krishna make me dance whatever the way you want, but I'm totally depending on you. So these are all the few things I see, remember when I'm in challenging situations, and remember that. And then I see that, okay, Krishna want to teach me something out of this situation, so that I can learn something and depend more on Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada, even though he was in Grihastha life, he have like so many challenges, but still he was like thinking more, even though he took very seriously his spiritual master's instructions, but finally when he was 70 years old, he got fulfilled that wish. So I would like to take that very seriously, that it's not like something we think now and the next minute it will happen. So it's very tough to take some of the instructions very seriously and apply it. So I see that Srila Prabhupada is very, 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 what we say that he's a well-wisher, actually. We see he's very bold, but we see that he's our ever well-wisher who has so much love towards the fallen souls, so that he can take everybody back to Godhead. So he has put a lot of effort. It's not a simple thing. If I say that in a simple words, that he's a great person, that is also a very small word. So we always, he has given his own blessings in his books. I never thought that even hearing from Guru Maharaj's lectures, or anybody, senior devotees or anybody, I see that they heartfelt feelings towards Srila Prabhupada, saying that Srila Prabhupada is there in his books and presenting himself that selfless service and helping fallen souls to go back to Godhead, and seeing the everything related to Krishna. So I when I was reading, he was saying in Lilamrita, he said that the books, my books, it can help everybody, maybe 10,000 or 20,000 years from now. So he was saying that if I'm not there physically, I'll be present in my books. So I see his presence in his books, and I take it seriously that he has given a lot of things. So Prabhupada's books contain some of the spirit. Whenever I read that, I see his presence, like saying, hearing his lectures also very boldly, he says that so this is not the Krishna consciousness, how we have to get elevated from the present platform to the spiritual platform. So his teachings are very, very, very important and open secret also. So Srila Prabhupada, he has given like, very lot of devotees mercy, and then taught them how to be like, leaders, and then follow ISKCON. It can go further to more, like few more years, few decades. So I feel like, saying thank you again and again for everything that Srila Prabhupada has done. And there is no repay for this genuine love, what he have towards us. And Srila Prabhupada has given everything that we need to go back to home, and taught us how to get prepared for our final exam just by following the spiritual master's instructions and reading Srila Prabhupada books. Now I think that that's the only hope I can reach the goal, actually. So Srila Prabhupada, you have given so much that is countless souls into the boat of association of devotees. You are teaching millions to chant how to chant Krishna's names. And whenever every day I chant, I put the Prabhupada's chanting, and then I really feel something empowering me to chant, and how I have to be attentive. So even the mind is going here and there, but when I hear Prabhupada's chanting and then chant, my mind will be totally focused. So it's really a gift every day chanting Krishna's names and hearing from Srila Prabhupada. And it's an amazing gift for me. I think that is I'm really blessful. And also he has, I see that it's not a simple thing, but still, we have a lot of problems in our life. But looking at Srila Prabhupada's life, going through many things, but still he has established 500 temples. And then it's not that simple thing. So he has traveled a lot in that age. I see many of the people who are 70 plus years old, they will be struggling with so many health issues, but he didn't even care about it. But he was just focused on his spiritual master's instructions and gave Krishna consciousness to whole wide world. I'm really thankful and grateful to Srila Prabhupada, and I wish everybody happy Vyas Puja. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak something about Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Surabhi Sundarachal Mataji.
Haribo, thank you so much for this opportunity. Listening to all of the devotees speak has been really giving me so many ideas of why I should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And Mataji spoke about how Srila Prabhupada had so many ailments, and at such an old age he came to America. And Prabhupada writes, actually, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Mataji reminded me of this, in the Canto 1, Parikshit cursed by the Brahmin boy, he writes, the pure devotee's mundane frustration is meant to elevate the devotee to a higher transcendental position. So Prabhupada's use of all of these setbacks, all of these mundane setbacks were actually meant to bring him closer to Krishna and increase his enthusiasm. And I find that so beautifully shown in Prabhupada's personality and his life, how much enthusiasm he had and how much patience he had. And those two seem like very contradictory qualities, right? When we are so enthusiastic, we want to get stuff done, we want to distribute books, but to do that over a long period of time and to be patient with it. There are so many setbacks in Prabhupada's life. Mataji spoke about the 2 heart attacks he had on the Jaladuta, but he also, in India, he first started to preach to the Indians, but the Indians refused to listen to him. So he came to America. But even in America, he tried to preach to the upper class Americans, but the upper class Americans refused to listen to him. So he came to the hippies and tried to teach him. And even in his medical field, even in his practice, there were so many conspiracies against him, which didn't lead him to make enough profit or anything like that. So there were so many mundane frustrations, so many setbacks to Prabhupada's life. But all because he was a pure devotee, he was able to use them to push him forward in Krishna consciousness and empower him and make him more detached and more enthusiastic and patient with Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada was always changing strategies in this way. In this way, he had a very strategic mind. And I really admire that. And I've been having so much association, a lot more association now that I'm in quarantine with Srila Prabhupada. I've been reading so many books. And Amarendra Prabhuji, once in a class, he spoke about how Prabhupada has written 18,000 letters for each of us. And those 18,000 letters are 18,000 purports in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we need to take each of these purports as direct letters. So something that Amarendra Prabhuji says is that we should write in front of the purport, "Dear Surabhi, dear whoever, please accept my blessings." And then the purport, "Your ever well-wisher, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Arvinda, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada." And then taking those purports as a personal letter from Srila Prabhupada has been so life-changing, because then I see how much Prabhupada is actually in my life, personally, not impersonally, totally personally in my life. And this being in quarantine alone has really made me see how much I miss devotee association. I miss devotee association, and I'm finding that a lot of my power, spiritual power, comes from associating with all of you, Matajis and Prabhujis, and all my spiritual devotee friends. And because I'm lacking that, I felt very alone in my Krishna consciousness. And something that I've been coming to is this quote from Srila Prabhupada from the Bhagavad Gita 16.1 in the purport. Srila Prabhupada gives the definition of what it means to be abhayam. I shall never be alone, one should think. Even if I live in the darkest regions of a forest, I shall be accompanied by Krishna, and he will give me all protection. For Srila Prabhupada, coming to America, to a godless civilization, to where all the hippies were, and so much no regulative principles, no religious principles, this one for all, this individualistic society, that must have been the darkest regions of the forest for a Nitya Siddha like Srila Prabhupada coming down from the spiritual world. It was explained, Prabhupada once gave this anecdote, that Krishna once instructed him, you go to this material world. And Prabhupada was like, no way, I can't go here. And then Krishna said, I will give you Srimad Bhagavatam, and then I will come with you. And then Prabhupada agreed to come down. And so I think about this a lot. My Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, in a recent Balaram Jayanti lecture, he talked about how a question was asked, how are you so enthusiastic, Maharaj? Even at this age, you're so enthusiastic. And Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, he took a pause and he said, I always think, and I'm reminded, that I can never ever repay the debt of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. And he asks us, do you think that you can repay the debt of Srila Prabhupada? And the answer is no, we can never repay the debt of Srila Prabhupada, but we can always try, we can always aspire to try to be an asset, as Bhaktitar Swami Maharaj says about Krishna consciousness. Try to be an asset to ISKCON of Srila Prabhupada. And that's something I pray and hope that I can be able to do. Finally, I wanted to talk about what Shashank said about where would I be without Srila Prabhupada? And that negative visualization, to think about where I would be really without Srila Prabhupada and his books and his teachings and his devotees, it really brings me to my knees. Because then I realize I wouldn't be able to see Krishna everywhere. I wouldn't be able to see all of these mundane troubles actually Krishna saying, Krishna's sweetness coming and saying, there is no use in this material world. Just strengthen your spirituality. And it always makes me realize that, it makes me think, maybe I would be in some party right now, or maybe I would be very sad and I wouldn't have anything to turn to, any spirituality to turn to. And I this negative visualization, this practice, it makes me feel immense amount of gratitude to Srila Prabhupada for giving me so many wonderful teachers in my life and so much guidance in my life through his personal association, through his books. And so I wanted to end with a quote that Srila Prabhupada says once. Material life is static. Spiritual life is ecstatic. And I think that's so beautiful, because it really, really sums up where we would be without Prabhupada, and that we are really on this path towards ecstasy. And that Srila Prabhupada, he really fulfilled his name, Abhay Charan, by coming to America, by defying all odds, and really giving us Krishna to people who may take it for granted, like me. Growing up in Krishna consciousness, I sometimes take it for granted. Oh, Srila Prabhupada's books. It's like having so much wonderful wealth at home, but not realizing, oh, there is so much wealth at home. And so I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful. And I hope that one day I can be an asset in Prabhupada's mission. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you very much, Surabhi Sundarachandra. Okay. Who is next?
Hare Krishna, Babu.
Oh. You want to go next? Okay.
Yeah, if there is no one, I can go next.
Right.
Yeah, Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Prasthaya Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Sunivadi Prasthaya. So thank you so much for the opportunity to express my reflections on His divine grace on His 124th birthday. So just wanted to wish my spiritual grandfather the happy 124th birthday, because today is very auspicious. I won't take much time, just few thoughts as to why he is etched in my memory and why he's so inspiring. There are many to speak, but for the sake of time, there are one or two things I wanted to highlight. When I think about Srila Prabhupada's life, one thing which strikes to me is his extent of surrender. He was such a personality that he left everything to Krishna, so Krishna could come in and change his life the way Krishna wanted. One such occasion, as we all heard about how Malati Mataji got the deities from Jagannath deities from thrift store, and that when she put one of the three deities in their house, Prabhupada came and gave a paid prostrate obeisances, and then after that he searched for it, and then it tells me that actually Lord Jagannath really wanted to come to US through Srila Prabhupada. He didn't really go looking for, but through his complete surrender, Jagannath came and he finally, installed them as, the first deities. And this shows how much surrendering attitude Srila Prabhupada has, and how much of reciprocation Krishna or Lord Jagannath is bestowing on him. This is unthinkable. When you think about if you surrender, if you take a step, Krishna would come and take 10 steps towards him, is so exemplified in this pastime. More and more, I hear the same pastime of Malati Mataji bringing the lordships and with no intent of going and getting, with sheer surrender. He could have come through flight, but he chose to come through a freight ship. And sometimes a day of flight is such a troubling thing for us when we go to India or come from India. Srila Prabhupada took close to a month to come by this freight. How much trouble he took, the extent of surrender. If a person can take this much of surrender, Krishna will take 20 steps to come, and this is so inspiring. And second thing, Srila Prabhupada was so much ahead of his times. Every Vyas Puja, you think about the life and legacy of Prabhupada, you think he was so much ahead of his time. At the time, there was no Rath Yatra in the Western world. He was the first to do Rath Yatra in the Western world. So much ahead of the time, unthinkable. Matajis were not doing Pujari Seva in temples, in Hindu temples. They were not performing, and Prabhupada started it. And it was so ahead of its time. It's so it's unthinkable, but and it's inconceivable. But Srila Prabhupada saw the practicality, and translating 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam is not an easy task. In each of these purports, he has left a mark for bhakti, where people would come and trample the verses to make it look like jnana yoga or karma yoga. Prabhupada instilled that element of bhakti in all this 18,000 verses in such a practical way, and gave the higher taste to us. And one thing I learned after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, whatever little I have read, is even if you don't internalize anything by reading Bhagavatam, you don't understand sometimes, you may not get it. But even if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, what His Divine Grace has translated, whether you internalize or understand anything or not, at least at the end of the day, your English will get better, because he has so much ahead of his time. He has written one of the best compilation in English you can ever think of. Whether you get some spiritual dose or not, but at least the English will be better. So there is so much to talk about, and just wanted to end here by saying, Prabhupada has impacted our life so much, directly, indirectly, in the way of the way we eat, the way we interact, and we have miles to go. So, in such an auspicious day, I wanted to wish Srila Prabhupada such a very happy Vyas Puja, a very happy birthday, and I would ask for forgiveness from my spiritual grandfather if I have incurred any offenses, so that I continue to get better at what I do and what I have learned from him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Hema Jagannath. Anybody else? Myself, I'm going to start otherwise. Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Gurudas Jai Dvida Swami Namne. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Samate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschata Deshatari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, this Vyas Puja day of Srila Prabhupada, as Hema Jagannath mentioned, 125th, right? Vyas Puja. We kind of remember what Srila Prabhupada means to our life. First of all, it's considered as a Vyas Puja because it's a representative of Srila Vyasadeva. And that's why Srila Prabhupada established that the spiritual master's appearance is also the Vyas Puja day. So that's how in ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada's appearance is celebrated as a Vyas Puja day. He's a Shiksha Guru, preeminent Shiksha Guru of each and every ISKCON member, because he's the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. That that position which no one else would be able to take, because he's the founder Acharya. And he has given us so much in his books, in his instructions, in his letters, morning walk conversations, and so many things. In my life, probably around something as a child, when I was growing up, 75, 76 time frame, visiting Juhu temple at that time, vaguely I remember. How? Because I had a lot of my cousins staying in Vilapala, and I would go to Juhu beach to sport in the waters with my cousins. And when we get hungry, my cousin said, okay, there's a temple here nearby, and they have samosas and rasgulla. And that's how I came in contact with ISKCON, Mama Prasad. That 75, 76 time frame. I remember still now that being raised in a Krishna conscious family, we go to the temple, so went to the ISKCON temple, offer obeisances to the deities. And, right in the ISKCON temple, we have Srila Prabhupada Vigraha. And as a child, passing through that, we'll get so lively that we won't consider that, oh, this is just a deity. And at that time, still remember that age, I just bowed down to pass because he's seeing the deities and I don't want to come in middle. So I just passed through him. And then someone else was probably giving a lecture, and I also tried to pass through him. And I still don't know whether it was Srila Prabhupada or because they look similar. But that's how the experience lies. And that's how I see later on when I came here to US and in 89, going through difficulties at the same time, doing my PhD, working in a motel. My first inclination, which had come out, was somebody, if there was a ISKCON temple in India, there should be something here. And somebody gave me the number of tobacco, and I went there a day before Janmashtami. And that was it. I never left after that. The first books which I came across to read was Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. And in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, now if we read that, we see how much Srila Prabhupada went through, and amidst all obstacles, he established this Krishna consciousness movement. And with so many instructions, right? Like a manual, want to go to some place, there's a map Similarly, Srila Prabhupada established a map. You want to go to Golaka, or there's a map. You follow that map correctly, you'll be able to go. Right. And there's a process he established. There's a system he established. The governance he established. The personal connection with each and every one he established. Where even now, if we are in difficulty, we take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's book, and the page which we open, he gives us the answer or a path to how to overcome that difficulty. And that's how he connects. We hear even in today's offering that how different devotees dream about Srila Prabhupada. Or if you are in front of Srila Prabhupada, Vigraha in the temple, and you are expressing yourself, your difficulties, he guides you. I still remember the day now when I had approached my spiritual master for initiation. My spiritual master was not initiating. It took me, probably I had approached him in 95, 96 time frame, and almost from 96 time frame, I was aspiring much earlier than that, but then in 95, 96 time frame, when I approached him for initiation, he said, "Oh, I'm not initiating. You can get initiated by someone else." And I just formed in determination that no, if I will get initiated, I'll get initiated by him. And in 2000 time frame, in Kartik, I'd heard from my god brother, Kadamakaran Maharaj, that okay, I was conversing with my Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj said, "Oh no, if I will initiate him, I will initiate him by giving all the 3 initiations together." And right in Srila Prabhupada Samadhi in Vrindavan, expressing myself, crying out, now, what to do? I'm not even qualified. How am I going to get to the step of initiation? And Srila Prabhupada personally revealing himself in the heart, "Oh, okay, don't worry about it. No, it will happen this time itself in Kartik." And that year, my Guru Maharaj initiated. So he provides that soothing comfort, soothing guidance to each and every aspiring disciple, each and every well-wisher of ISKCON, each and every sincere seeker of spiritual life who has taken shelter in some way or the form of his books. Right. So, in that way, we feel very much indebted. But else, when Srimad Bhagavatam it says that the mercy which a spiritual master bestows to you, you can never repay back. Right? You can never repay back. You don't have anything in your possession that you'll be able to repay back. Srila Prabhupada bringing us the teachings of Mahaprabhu, right? The most beneficent incarnation, brought us the teachings of Mahaprabhu in a very simple, sublime way by which we can follow it. And in this age of color and hypocrisy, just chanting this holy name. And along with that, reading his books, entire thing. And we see Mahaprabhu as Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishna Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Gaura Tushe Nama, the most beneficent incarnation. But then what about the devotee who has tirelessly spreaded the glories of Mahaprabhu, spreaded the glories of the Supreme Lord? And that answer, as we see, given in Srimad Bhagavatam, right, where King Pataparudra, right, he goes to this Jagannath garden and is um, reciting these verses of Gopi Gita to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu becomes so pleased to hear them. And as soon as he hears Tava Kathamrita, right, and Mahaprabhu is dancing in ecstasy. And what does that verse mean? Right. So I'll recite that verse. Tava Kathamrita Tapta Jivana Kavi Bihiritam Kalmasapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvigrinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. The nectar of your words and the description of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. Right. Again, certainly those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. So Srila Prabhupada in that way is the most munificent, because throughout his life he spreaded the glories of Mahaprabhu throughout. Now, when we think of these, slowly when years pass by, our energy starts wearing down. Srila Prabhupada, he started this movement, right? He came to US when he was 69. He started the movement when he was 70. And within the space of 12 years, he traveled around the world 14 times and spread Krishna consciousness throughout. He established a legacy. So how can a person be more munificent than him? Right? Even in Bhagavad Gita, it says one who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita. This sublime message of Bhagavad Gita is the most dear to me. Lord Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. So, Srila Prabhupada is Shaktavesh, empowered personality of the Supreme Lord. And we see this year, Bhakti Charumara joined back with Srila Prabhupada's mission. He had joined in Srila Prabhupada's mission years back, but Srila Prabhupada somehow called him back. And Maharaj used to sing this bhajan, Bhuri Da Jana, Tava Kathamritam. It's a wonderful tune. Right. To spread Krishna consciousness in one planet or the other planet as a representative of the Supreme Lord. Right. And that's how we see ISKCON is not only going to be limited to this planet, it will be in other places by Mahaprabhu's mercy. And the sincere followers of ISKCON, right, will continue this in this planet and other planet. And we see that they're living from one planet will be entry to go to other planet to join Srila Prabhupada in his mission. in that particular planet, so that they can give guidance to the lost souls and reconnect them back to the Supreme Lord. So again, there's so many things which can be said, but we thank Srila Prabhupada for giving us Mahaprabhu. We thank Srila Prabhupada for giving us this process to connect back to the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anybody else would like to share?
Hare Krishna.
Very well.
If time permits, I can speak a little bit. Otherwise, somebody else.
No, go ahead, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Yeah, we had it till 10. Though we
Oh.
said 7 to 9, but we had this conference at 10.
I see. Yeah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Pade Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Samitidana Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Our founder Acharya A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On this very auspicious day, I'll say two qualities of His Divine Grace. One that comes to mind is Srila Prabhupada redefines the word sacrifice. Generally, in this world, sacrifice means giving up some hard-earned money or any other opulences we have, or sacrificing for children, working hard, giving up your energy, giving up your health, giving up something. But one of our Vaishnava explains that sacrifice word also connected to sacredness, actually creating a connection between detachment and sacredness of your activity. You Krishnaize your activity. So I'll give one or two examples to make it easier. One very simple example, in the very early days, very early senior disciple of His Divine Grace, Jadurani Mataji, at 26 Second Avenue, she was a professional painting artist. She was creating painting for His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada books. So Srila Prabhupada would also sit in that 26 Second Avenue and guide her how Krishna looks, how Balaram looks, how Nrsimhadev Bhagwan looks. So one day, Yadurani Mataji asked Srila Prabhupada, because the space was very limited, 26 Second Avenue, many of us been there, it's a very, very small storefront. So Yadurani Mataji was trying to paint and she needed more space, and she didn't want to go over and touch Srila Prabhupada's body in any way. So she asked very gently, Prabhupada, can you move to the side so I can keep working? So Srila Prabhupada smiled and he said, Yadurani, for service, you can even step on my head. You can also step on my head. So how His Divine Grace turned that sacrificing this relationship between disciple and guru, the etiquette. There's an etiquette that you don't go over guru's leg or body, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches that example through his servant Govinda. But sacrificing and turning into that a sacred task, activity, Krishnizing by giving instructions on this level that you can even step on my head if there is a service to perform for Krishna. It's very wonderful example. I liked it, so I thought I'll share. Another example, Srila Prabhupada was leaving India. It was summertime, from Calcutta to Moscow. There was some opportunity came to preach in Moscow. So one gentleman in Calcutta, one devotee gentleman, kindly friend, I think it was a friend, he asked Srila Prabhupada, you're going to Moscow, and this is summertime in Calcutta, and there are very sweet mango season in Calcutta. So you will miss Calcutta's summer mangoes, sweet mangoes, because you will be in Moscow. So how Srila Prabhupada translate that, Srila Prabhupada mentioned to this gentleman friend, he said, this opportunity in Moscow has come up, and I know it's very, very cold in Moscow at this time. It's like chilling snow. But he said, the chilling snow in Moscow will be more sweeter than the summer mangoes of Calcutta. So there is a sacrifice, but how Srila Prabhupada creates this journey to Moscow, opportunity of sharing Krishna consciousness with the world, into a sacred journey, not a sacrifice anymore, not a sacrificing sweet mangoes anymore. That's lower principle now. The higher principle is the sacredness of the journey, and the opportunity to serve Guru and Gauranga is more sweeter. And then even Srila Prabhupada's very serious, very grave in many ways. But here in Calcutta at the same time, one night, one devotee came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Srila Prabhupada, last night was not good sleep. Srila Prabhupada said, what happened? He said, there are a lot of mosquitoes. They were biting me. I could not sleep. So Srila Prabhupada said, oh, I was okay. Nothing happened to me. So this devotee said, Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. Mosquitoes don't touch pure devotee. So Srila Prabhupada, in his very light, humorous and comforting way, he said, oh, that may be right. But Calcutta mosquitoes are unforgivable. They don't forgive pure devotee either. So he was very humorous. He would create any kind of situation into light moments to give comfort to his devotees. So that's one quality. And second quality of humility of Srila Prabhupada. When he was translating his books into English, he had an English editors. And one of his English editor who was editing his books, he found in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada writes, Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So this editor came back to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, you made a mistake. Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Shri Shri is double. So Srila Prabhupada became a little grave. He said, look, this is the language, this is the Sanskrit, this is my language. Don't correct me when I write something in my language. You can correct my English. Yes, my English is not what your English is. You speak English, you write English, you edit in English. So if you find some mistake in English, I will take those. But don't touch that Shri Shri Radha Krishna, because that's my language. And that's perfectly fine. So we see, even though he's grave, he's straightforward, he can accept challenges, but at the same time, he's humble to see that, yes, in English, I need help, so I need English editors. But they should not also play with what I write, especially some words for the Lord and some heartfelt, his ecstasies for the Lord. That's not English, so they should not touch. So that's one example of his humility. And second, I find Srila Prabhupada was asked by a reporter that, are you Guru? Especially, are you Guru of Allen Ginsberg? Allen Ginsberg was a very famous poet at that time of Srila Prabhupada. He used to meet Srila Prabhupada in New York City around that time. So these reporters felt that there is a good connection between Allen Ginsberg and Srila Prabhupada. So they thought Srila Prabhupada is his guru, he's guiding him. So they kind of said it in a challenging way. So Srila Prabhupada he paused for a few seconds, and then he answered. He said, no, I am servant of everyone. I'm guru of none. And I was feeling this mood of his divine grace, that he always felt that I'm servant. To all his disciples, he will say, you are sent by my guru to accomplish what is getting done. It's only my Guru Maharaj has sent all of you. So you're all helping me, assisting me, and I'm trying to help my Guru Maharaj. And I'm servant of the servant of the servant. That mood, what makes Srila Prabhupada as the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So there's more to say, but I'll end here. There's so much debt to pay to his divine grace. He has given us so much and so many devotees and the society. Thereby we can engage our minds and our propensities to serve Krishna in many different ways. Devotees can use their skills either in management or doing, making just garlands for the Lord and cooking for the Lord and worshipping the Lord, and so many different sevas are provided by this International Society of Krishna Consciousness for each individual, because every living entity is unique. So their seva for the Lord can be unique, and it's given. Srila Prabhupada Society, Srila Prabhupada temples provide that opportunity to all the devotees, all the living entities. Just like Lord Ram provides opportunity for that sparrow and for monkeys and for human beings and for demigods, and they all come from different directions to serve Lord Ram. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada Society, this Gaudiya Society. I think Subhal Prabhu was mentioning about Tulsi Gabbard. So yes, Tulsi Gabbard is part of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Society in Hawaii. She's connected with Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So thank you so much for this opportunity to glorify His divine grace and remember on this very auspicious day that I owe so much debt that I will never be able to pay for my whole life, for many lifetimes actually, to His divine grace. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Thank you very much, Dipyan Prabhu. Krishnan Prabhu, you express if you wanted to speak something.
Yes, Prabhu. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Name. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavad Pachatya Destare. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhu bhayevaj. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav ki jai. Mokam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam vande Sri Gurum Denatar. Paramananda Madham Sri Chaitanya Iswa. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Sorry, it's very late for taking your time. I was able to speak on one quality which may bring up all other qualities into it. As I was speaking on the same point about the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna to some of the young generation in IT, in an Indian IT company other day. So I'm reflecting on that same point about Sri Prabhupada's qualities, because as we hear from Prabhupada's pranam mantra, Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale, Sri Prabhupada has taken shelter at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, which means, so he's imbibing the qualities of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is exhibiting his leadership qualities from the way he is born, from the day when the way he left the world. So when he was born in the prison house. When he left, and the hunter Jara released the arrow and he left. So, but he never, he's always enthusiastic, and Supreme Lord Sri Krishna exhibited with so much, everything, all the characteristics we know of Bhagavan, exhibited in full everything from beginning to end, despite going through so many difficulties. We have challenges to face the difficulties and execute our duties, but we can see, as Krishna is saying from Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad Acharati Sreshtatit Ivetaro Jana Sayat Pramanam Krute Lokastad Anuvartate. As a leader, one who set up an example by his own character, Apne Acharita Jive Sikhaya, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is exhibiting in his character, how to do, what to do on a day-to-day basis in life, exhibited in his own life. So Supreme Lord Sri Krishna also exhibited in the same way from beginning to end, despite going through so much. He has to, just like an ordinary human being, seemingly, externally, when there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they just want to teach us a lesson so that everybody else can follow. This is in chapter 3, verse 26 or so in Karma Yoga, that Yadhyadachar. Now coming back to his divine grace, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, leader, L-E-A-D-E-R, leader. If you look at, I didn't look in dictionary or anything. I came up with my own quality just before, few minutes before only. So the leader, L, means Srila Prabhupada is coming up with, is showing his love with compassion, the first letter. And that love we can know from so many memories of Srila Prabhupada from his disciples, how much love Prabhupada has given to those who are following his instructions strictly, and even those who has helped even a little bit, those who joined Krishna consciousness for a little bit, but somehow they are fallen down from that. Still Prabhupada used to call them and he wants to talk to them, he wants to give his time despite his busy schedule, despite his so much to do to execute his spiritual master's order. So this is only possible. He has tremendous love, just like Supreme Lord Sri Krishna has love for all of us. So that is the first quality, love with compassion. so much compassion. Then the next quality is E, is to educate, to enthuse all the living entities who are coming to him, which Prabhupada says, the spiritual master has sent all of them to me to help me, and empower them and to eradicate their ignorance. So this second letter is also very important. As we can see, Prabhupada established the institution. He has given all the processes, education, and given the enthusiasm to enthuse all who are coming to him so that they can become the leaders. Leaders, great leader quality is they make others leaders also. They don't think that, oh, I will just be the leader from beginning to end. So I don't let others become leaders. But from Srila Prabhupada's example and Supreme Lord Sri Krishna's example, always glorifying the people under him, making them the leaders. And the same example we see from Srila Prabhupada. So that's why we see today so many of his direct disciples, how much they're executing, trying to please him, previous spiritual masters. And Srila Prabhupada writes in this way, so they educate, enthuse, empower, and eradicate all the ignorance. The next one is A, the third letter, which is allowing others to grow. This is very, very important quality for a great leader, for a really leader based on the scriptures. So that's allowing others to grow. That means we are not looking at comparison, or there is no enviousness, there is no jealousy, there is nothing in the heart. It's clean like a water. So there, in that, Prabhupada has allowed all others to grow. He has given full responsibilities. Whether we look at Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj or Satswarup Goswami Maharaj, so many disciples, and he has given full responsibilities, as Prabhuji were mentioning about Jadurani and many others. So he has given food, doesn't matter whether male or female, whatever qualification he has, even little inclination, he gave full responsibility to them. Okay, carry on this duty. So they themselves, he just used to give them the hints, educate them, enthuse them, then allowing them to grow. So the next is D, is divert their attention, divert their attachments, divert their inclinations and proclivities to the shelter of his spiritual master, Parampara, and Supreme Lord Sri Krishna finally. So this is the Yukta Vairagya, which Mataji is mentioning, and Rupa Goswami is quoting. So that is a quality, another quality, which is the fourth letter, diverting the attention of the living entities or his disciples or whoever is coming close to him to bring them to Krishna's lotus feet. Then the next one is also the same D, also means dedicating to attention to transfer to supreme goal of, yeah, dedicating, making sure that those who are coming to him, making sure they dedicate their life to achieve the supreme goal of life, to become perfect Krishna conscious devotee, servant of the devotees of the Supreme Lord. The next is the E, is the again it is coming, but this time it is executing with confidence. This the great leaders quality, not materialistic leaders. This is only possible as the materialistic leaders we may see executing with confidence to some extent, but not like anywhere close to spiritual leaders like Srila Prabhupada or Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So we can see clearly how they executed with confidence. Otherwise, who in this world we can see at the age of 70 to do so many of these tasks single-handedly? It is impossible task. But because of his execution with confidence, and the same thing he passed down to his whoever is coming close to him, to follow the same spirit and giving them this intelligence and enthusiasm and everything, whatever we talked about. So executing with confidence, sharing this to others who are coming to. The last one is R, which is resilient in the work, and also the renounce. As the Supreme Lord has the renounced one, he doesn't have any activity to do, but he, as a leader, he is exhibiting and he's taking on, he's performing activities, but he's fully renounced. He's not thinking, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm knowledgeable, I'm full of money, full of strength, all this, but the one quality of the Supreme Lord is sucking his own thumb, sucking his own toe, putting his mouth as though like he's fully like a small baby, doesn't know anything. He fully renounced of whatever possessions he had. Like that, Srila Prabhupada. So he's fully renounced, even though he has so many disciples, so many temples, so many books he translated. He has n number of every quality, you name it, as a great leader, as Vaishnava Shastra explained 26 qualities in full. He has everything, quality of a pure devotee. Now he is the empowered incarnation of the Supreme Lord, is Senapati Bhakta, as mentioned in Brahma Vaivarta Purana. So this renounced, so he has passed down also those who are closely following him. We can see they are also renounced. But at the same time, Prabhupada has allowed that, yes, you must conduct Vyasa Puja ceremony. It's not to take the glorification on the person itself, but the pass down that glorification to a previous spiritual master and all the way going to Vyasadeva and ultimately going back to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, because they have taken shelter at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So in this way, we can see Srila Prabhupada how many qualities he has and how much he has done for all of us. So I'll stop here. So much to say, but in the interest of time, it's already very late. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Forgive my offenses. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Sorry, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Krishna Babu. I think Shimeshwar Babu also want to say something. Shimeshwar Babu, we can do this. We can end here.
Sure. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity on this most auspicious day of appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. The 124th appearance day, that is the most historic ever in the history of Vaishnava society. As we all know that the contribution of Srila Prabhupada is unparalleled. If we look at the contribution towards the old world. So there are no words from me. Actually, when I say or Srila Prabhupada, there's no enough words to glorify Srila Prabhupada. So many things to speak, all life. When you take anything, Juhu temple, how Srila Prabhupada struggled a lot to brought up the Juhu temple, the Krishna Balaram temple, and temple around the world. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada's determination and dedication and complete surrender to the Supreme Lord. So if you look at I was going through some studies of the life study of Sri Ramanujacharya, Sri Madhavacharya, Vallabhacharya, and the great acharyas in the centuries ago. So if you look at the Srila Prabhupada and compare to them, and Srila Prabhupada is also one of them, and even more come on top of it. If you look at the contribution of Srila Prabhupada, an entire ISKCON society, an entire world even. I was going through in Italy, the parliament, the parliament house, the parliament, they were allowing devotees to go inside the parliament and chant the holy name. Many universities, many universities, they were very authoritatively, they are, allowing, they are, teaching the history and the Vaishnavism in the colleges and the universities. And we can see that when acharyas were there, they were undefeated in one sense, that if somebody come up with some tarka or some argument. So we can also see that in Srila Prabhupada, if somebody come up with some kind of argument or tarka, nobody can, go past Srila Prabhupada and the Srila Prabhupada's points, and very, very confident and very much focal points. And whatever Srila Prabhupada says is that it is. And even still, if anything that anybody has any doubts or anything that what we do, so we caught from Srila Prabhupada said this way, this is perfect. So, and even if we execute that, what Srila Prabhupada said will become perfect. So this is the great Acharya's words, great Acharya's life, and that the entire Srila Prabhupada is the book for us, that how to execute devotional services, how to go with the devotional services, how we can progress in devotional services. And Srila Prabhupada gave us a wonderful, wonderful principles. And these are the pillars that Srila Prabhupada always says, that these are the pillars. Srila Prabhupada said, the utility is the principle. So we should use everything for the service of Krishna. So that's a proper Yukta Vairagya. That's Srila Rupa Goswami's mentioned what is Yukta Vairagya, that Srila Prabhupada also gave that a clear definition of what is Yukta Vairagya is that utility is the principle. Utility, utilize everything for the service of Krishna. There's nothing in this world that we cannot. Everything can be in the service of the Lord with that consciousness. Krishna will be pleased, as Srila Prabhupada said, principle that Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna is not looking at what we offer. Krishna is looking at what is our heart. So utility is the principle, that the heart behind for utilizing everything for the service of the Lord. That is the basic that Srila Prabhupada taught us. Utility is the principle. Utilize everything for the service of the Lord. Then preaching is the essence. And preaching and the books are the basis. So these two principles, books are the basis and the preaching is the essence. So Srila Prabhupada, we understand, we know that how much efforts and struggles Srila Prabhupada went through just to publish a book. We know that Srila Prabhupada was walking 6 miles every day to the printing house to publish Srimad Bhagavatam every day, 2 months, to see that these books are publishing on time. In 1945, Srila Prabhupada personally going and manuscripting the Back to Godhead magazine and going to each shop and restaurant and going to each person and asking and requesting, please take a copy of this. This is just for you and for your benefit. When somebody turns away Srila Prabhupada was also disappointed. One point of time, even Srila Prabhupada fainted down on the road, and one close person of Srila Prabhupada know him, that he knows Srila Prabhupada was lying fainted down on the road, and this person actually took Srila Prabhupada, and that struggle that Srila Prabhupada took to preach this to the world. So it is very, very important that Srila Prabhupada took such a hardship. Because of that, Srila Prabhupada knows that this is the most important thing in this age of Kali. There is nothing else that to preach Krishna consciousness, that people are going down every day from the Krishna consciousness. So preaching is the essence. And then in order for that, Srila Prabhupada struggled a lot to publish books. And Srila Prabhupada's volumes of books, like 80-90 volumes of books, which is translated to the 80 languages. Can you imagine that such a magnitude of work that Srila Prabhupada gave to us? That's a legacy that we have to carry on this. And this is very, very important that each and every one of us take this Srila Prabhupada's instruction, that the books are the basis and preaching is the essence. And especially Srila Prabhupada mentioned that we are a preaching movement. Our complete focus, that to preach to the people, and the focus should be there. And when we focus on preaching to the other people, even Srila Prabhupada said, one person turn to Krishna, that is the success of this movement. And it's very, very important that each and every one of us takes this very seriously. Preaching is the essence and the books are the basis. Yes, we all know that our life is very short here. And we are all here for short time. And think about a minute that, what are we trying to do that we are all get again into this material world and the pool and then goes again and next life. Very short our life. And this is the moment that Srila Prabhupada is teaching us that take this preaching is the essence and the books are the basis. And we all have to do that. That's the Srila Prabhupada's instruction. And it's also mentioned that pleases Srila Prabhupada most, nothing else. If we say every day, Srila Prabhupada, I distributed this much books, and many of the temple do that every day morning, they read that how many books they distributed before Srila Prabhupada or the deities, they come and read this to the Srila Prabhupada. That pleases Srila Prabhupada most, that how many, what we are doing for the movement, what we are doing for the preaching, what we are doing for the spreading of this Krishna consciousness. Then the last one is actually the purity is the force. These 4 principles that Srila Prabhupada put together, purity is the force. Yes, it's very, very important that we put ourselves in that, that mode, that by Krishna consciousness, by association, that Srila Prabhupada made a home, made a house, big, large house, that everybody can live in that house. Everybody can come together in that house, and we can associate and purify and hear each other, and association and help each other, and support each other, and we grow in Krishna consciousness together with the help, as we are all a family member. We are not separate, as Surabhi was mentioning about, that when we think about the devotee association, there is nothing more than in this world that one can get such a joy and bliss and happiness, and for devotee association for Krishna consciousness. So we have so much of Srila Prabhupada, so much, showed us. Srila Prabhupada so much gave to us. Srila Prabhupada so much instruction, that so much gave to us, that this is our responsibility and our duty, that to take forward this every moment and each and every opportunity that we have to spread this Krishna consciousness to others. And it is our duty. And think about not now. We should think about not for now, 5 years or 10, think about for next 50 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that next 10,000 years, and is a very golden age. And Srila Prabhupada already visioned that, and Krishna is already have a plan. So of course the devotees, the Krishna's mercy, Srila Prabhupada's mercy is there. And I remember that, how much important the book distribution is. One time I saw a dream of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada came to where I was living, and Srila Prabhupada came there and brought one full trunk of books. And Srila Prabhupada came and put the books, and Srila Prabhupada went to take a bath and came back and told me that these are the books, distribute these books. And then after 2 weeks, I saw the dream, and Srila Prabhupada came to my dream and told me and asked me, did you distribute books? Did you distribute books? I said, most of them are distributed, Srila Prabhupada, some are left, I'll distribute. So Srila Prabhupada is there and to guide us in all respect. And there are a lot to say, but due to time, and I'm just finishing up. So it's our dear Srila Prabhupada, and we are so much indebted. Anything that which we are now, and in my example and my life, just Srila Prabhupada, because of Srila Prabhupada that I am here, or I am saying this, or I am here, because of as soon as I started to read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, everything changed upside down. Everything changed upside down. Everything is become very clear. Everything become everything that the right direction, the right path, and the right instruction in front of us, even just from the Bhagavad Gita. So it's good enough that even if we have understood the Bhagavad Gita, that we have a right direction, a right path, and right instructions for us through Srila Prabhupada's purport and the right message of Lord Sri Krishna, that we never get anywhere. And Srila Prabhupada one time said there are 400 versions of Bhagavad Gita, but you don't see an actual original Bhagavad Gita, so that Srila Prabhupada put for Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is, original Bhagavad Gita. It's very, very important that we take this Bhagavad Gita out to the people in general, that so that this entire society and their world become Krishna conscious, and that way this life and the society, everything will be, wonderful. Otherwise, we know that where this world will take us to this extent. So thank you so much for this wonderful auspicious day. On this auspicious day, thank you so much for giving me to say something about Srila Prabhupada. And there is endless that we can say the glories of Srila Prabhupada, but just little bit of that, what is most important for us as an instruction of Srila Prabhupada, that to carry forward, and we all should, take this seriously, to instruct and follow the Srila Prabhupada's legacy and instructions, so that Srila Prabhupada will be very pleased. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prabhu. So we will end here. You can connect back in the morning from 5 to 6:30 chanting together, and 6:30 to 7 Srimad Bhagavatam class. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhayo vaishnavebhayo namo namaha.
Prabhuji, also please mention that tomorrow evening we will start Srila Prabhupada's instruction that we should also evening read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Please,
So from tomorrow evening, we're starting Bhagavad Gita also on Zoom. Simesha Prabhu sent a link to the Japathon group.
What time it will be?
7 p.m. on that.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Very good.
7 to 7:30 or
Yeah, pretty much. We start with the chanting, and then one or couple of verses of Bhagavad Gita. Then we finish, the in detailed study of that, what the verses says about.
Okay.
Is
that time good?
I think 7 is fine. I think keep it short. I would say
Yeah.
7 to 7:30, so that because everybody has so many different things to do weekday, working day.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Vancha kalpatarubhascha sindhu
bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Devi.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.